I never thought that I would be standing in front of a group of people, about to say what I'm about to say. I always thought that this would go with me to my grave. But as time goes on, I'm realizing that that isn't a healthy idea for either me or for you. This is something that I've wanted to share for a long time. What I'm about to say is controversial, and many of you may not agree with me, or perhaps you'll think I'm oversharing. But I'd like to encourage you to keep an open mind and an open heart. I wouldn't be up here unless I thought that this was an important idea. Tony Stark, Gatsby, Batman, Inigo Montoya, Frodo, Percy Jackson. Look at our heroes. Look at the stories we tell. These heroes had everything that they thought they wanted, but there was still a hole inside. Something about us, the unique human consciousness, knows that something isn't right. We can have the world and it's not enough. We are fundamentally broken. Each and every one of us carry around a hole in our heart that we can never truly fill. Broken isn't often a word used to describe me, but that is what I was and will continue to be. The beginnings of the story are years ago, before I became a Christian. I suffered heavily from depression and anxiety. I hid it from everyone around me. On the outside, I was the happy-go-lucky girl you know and love. But it was a fragile facade, and inside I was hurting and raw. I had nobody. Think about that for a moment. It's true for all of you, too. Ultimately, there is no mom or dad or best friend. It's just us, facing down whatever it is that we have to deal with. My life was empty. My life was gray. I would go to events and I would cry in the bathroom and then I would pretend it was allergies. I fell into self-harm. I fundamentally hated myself and my life. I was alone in every way, shape, and form. I continued downhill for a very long time. It got worse and worse, and I knew that there was a breaking point. Finally, I reached a point where I realized something was going to have to change, or I would be dead within the month, and it would have been by my own hand. I know that for a fact. I remember it very clearly. I was lying on my floor sobbing, and I realized that fundamentally, I could not do anything on my own. I cried out to the Lord. I knew that I was in a black pit of my own making, and nobody could drag me out except for him. And he did. I was saved that night. If you look at my life now and you look at my life then, it's been a very long road, but there's a fundamental difference. Why am I telling you this? Other than the fact it's an interesting anecdote, why do you guys care? The point is this. If you look at me now or even then, I like to think that I look like a nice person. I look like I have it all together. But I almost killed myself. You don't get any less put together than that. Take a look at yourselves. You're broken. Maybe, like me, you have depression or anxiety. Maybe you know you're broken already. Or maybe you think you've got it together. You've got your friends and your family and your shows, and you're pretty happy with it. You were saved at VBS in second grade, and that is all you need. Thank you very much. Are you saved? Are you really saved? Because I thought I was saved, but I didn't have the joy of the Lord. I was a good person with the Bible, but that was not enough. Are you fundamentally happy with the way you are? Are you really happy? Or are you distracting yourself from the truth? I know perfectly well that I am a disgusting, flawed, hopeless person, but that is because I was put through the ringer. Maybe you have been too, and you already know this. Maybe you haven't yet, and you never will. But at some point, you have got to realize that you too are a disgusting person. Look at yourself again. We all have the ability to be terrible people. Every single one of us is fundamentally disgusting, repulsive, and horrible. We aren't a good person in our own strength. You don't know anything apart from God's wisdom. And none of that will give you a free ticket to heaven. I'm not in the business of handing out free tickets to heaven, and God isn't offering that either. What God is offering you is a chance at new life. Do you understand how fundamental that is? How life-changing it can be? God offers you freedom. Freedom from your disgusting habits, freedom from your depression, freedom from your anxiety, freedom from your self-doubt, freedom from being alone, freedom from that nasty feeling you get from just doing things, freedom from anything in this world. I was trapped and locked in my sin. I hated my life and everything in it. It was a long and hard road, but God has changed me. My life isn't even close to perfect, but my joy is in Him. I find my heart overflowing with love and joy and peace. I am a different person than I was years ago, and I am so much happier for it. God is offering you a plan and a place and freedom. He is offering you joy and beauty. Everything good in this world and beautiful in this world is being offered to you on a silver platter. God is calling out to you. You know this in your mind. You've heard it 1,000 times, but hear it from your heart. Do you understand how great of a deal this is? How awful you are compared to how lovely God is? Do you understand how cool God is? How powerful, how strong, how terrible? Look at me. Through the power of the Lord, I am standing before you today. And I guarantee any nice thing I have ever done in my entire life is only because of Him. Think of what He will do in your life. What if He changes you? What if you shed all of your negative thinking? What if the old, disgusting person you are now falls off like snakeskin? What if you are truly free? What if you are never alone again? God is an enactor of fundamental change. God is asking you to join His side, His army, His family. It is an army with a preordained victory. We are not fighting individuals. We are not fighting nations. We are not fighting political ideas. Here is what we are fighting: your brokenness inside. God offers you a way to change it. God will defeat it for you. Just listen to His call and let Him crush everything wrong inside of you. I don't want to preach at you or have this be an altar call. The point I want to leave you with is this: listen. Pay attention. Whether you like it or not, you need God more than you know. God is calling out to you. He offers a new life. He offers a fundamental change in the way you think. Listen to Him. Thank you.